Hi everyone. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to install and use the Crease-Preserving Extrude add-on for Blender. The goal of this add-on is to automatically carry over crease values to newly generated edges during extrude operation, so you don't have to manually assign crease to each new edge. That will save time on the modeling process. Let's start by installing the add-on. Go to Edit, Preferences, and under the Add-ons tab, click the drop-down in the top right corner and choose Install from Disk. Locate the .zip file and click Install from Disk. Once it appears in the list, make sure the checkbox is enabled. Now press N in the 3D viewport to open the sidebar. You should see a new tab called Extrude Tools. You'll find two main options: Extrude with Crease, Extrude Default. Then, let's see how it works. If you use Extrude Default, it performs Blender's standard extrusion behavior. For example, if I press E to extrude this edge loop along the Y-axis, you'll notice that the new edges don't inherit any crease. The flow breaks. To maintain a continuous look, you'd have to manually apply crease to each new edge, which could be time-consuming and tedious. Now let's try Extrude with Crease. This time, when I extrude the same edge loop, the new edges automatically inherit crease values from neighboring edges. No manual input needed. This function also works with both edge and face extrusion. If I select this edge and press E, the new edge inherits the crease. The same happens with face extrusion. The surrounding edges adopt crease values from nearby edges. Here's a quick example to help explain how the add-on decides which crease value to apply. Let me quickly assign a crease value 0.46 to this edge and 0.38 to this one. Now let me select this vertex and extrude it along the Y-axis. Then let's check the crease value of this newly generated edge. The value is 0.7, matches with this edge here, which has the most similar direction with the newly generated edge. If I select this vertex again and extrude along the Z-axis, the crease of the newly generated edge becomes 0.38, matches with this edge. Then let's try to extrude on the X-axis. The crease becomes 0.46, matching with this edge now. So what's happening is the add-on looks at surrounding edges and finds the one most aligned in direction, then copies that crease value to the newly generated edge. Sometimes the carried over crease value based on the algorithm might not be the one you want. Pick that edge. Under Extrude Tools tab, you should find the Crease Value Picker area, where it saves all the crease values of neighboring edges that the new edge can inherit from. You can simply pick the value you want, and it will be applied to the new edge. In the face extrusion, you can also change the carryover crease value of the new edges through Crease Value Picker. Then let's talk about Apply Directional Crease function. If you use the Adjust Last Operation panel, which is the pop-up menu in the bottom left corner quite often in your workflow, here's something to note. When using Extrude with Crease, the crease is applied after the extrusion as a separate step, so Blender won't show the Adjust Last Operation panel for the extrude operation. So if your workflow requires to use Adjust Last Operation a lot, here's the step you can do. Use Extrude Default to do the extrude operation first. Adjust your extrusion using the Last Operation panel. Then click Apply Directional Crease to transfer crease values from neighboring edges, which will give the same result. Also here you can pick the newly generated edges and adjust which value you want them to carry over from the neighboring edges with the Crease Value Picker. This add-on also works with several extrude options under the Alt+E menu. For example, if I select this face and use Extrude Along Normals under Alt+E menu, you'll see that with Blender's default operation, the crease is not carried over to the new edges. But if I choose Extrude with Crease mode extrude along normals. The crease is successfully carried over and applied to the newly created edges. Also here you can pick the newly generated edges and adjust which value you want them to carry over from the neighboring edges with the crease value picker. Let's try the other options under the Alt+E menu. Extrude faces. As you can see, creases are correctly carried over. Again, you can use the crease value picker to change the carried over crease values. Then let's try extrude individual faces. We find the new edges carried over the crease from neighboring edges. And crease value picker also works here if you need to change the carried over crease values. Then for extrude manifold, crease values are applied to the new edges as well. Again, you can use the crease value picker to change the carried over crease values. Please note, this add-on doesn't work for extrude repeat or spin. Also, if you want to use the Adjust Last Operation panel with these Alt+E extrusions, you can still do that by choosing Extrude Default first. Make your adjustments through the Last Operation panel, then click Apply Directional Crease, and the crease values will be correctly transferred to the new edges. Crease Value Picker also works here if you need to change the carried over crease values. That's it for this tutorial. I hope this add-on helps speed up your modeling process and keeps your creases clean and consistent. And you can purchase this add-on through the links in the description. Thanks for watching.